Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, America's competition shotgun, and is fueled by Fiocchi.
Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast, coming in hot with everything you want to hear about sporting clays. With your hosts, Jason Rambo.
This is what I have to work with, everyone.
And Sean Alley.
Like I said, I was just thirsty.
Oh, boy.
Often imitated, but never duplicated. It's the Dead Pair Podcast. It's showtime.
Welcome back, everyone. What's up there, Mr. Alley?
Jason, how you been, buddy?
Doing good. Got all kinds of exciting stuff coming up. What have you been up to, man? Did you have a good 4th weekend?
Yep, had a bunch of family and friends over. Had a big old cookout, about 40 or 50 people. Did some, well, I'm not going to go into it too much because I know this episode's about that. But we did some extracurricular activities that kind of ties into clay shooting. So I'll talk about that more later.
Well, I don't know if you call it quote unquote clay shooting, but you did some shooting.
Right. Shooting targets in the air with a shotgun. We'll just go that far.
Hey, before we get too deep into this, you've got a attorney talk you need to get us caught up on, right?
Yes, I do. Hold on to your lug nuts.
It's Tourney Talk. Brought to you by Score Chaser.
All right, everybody. The 2026 Southeast Regional is now open. That's going to be at Quail Creek Sporting Ranch. Dates are June 2nd through the 7th. Also, Oklahoma State at Snake Creek Shooting Sports is going to be June 25th through the 28th. Again, that's 2026. Both of those shoots are open. Go out there and get them registered before you delay, because we all know that takes too long, and you get locked out of the best times, right, Jason?
You're absolutely correct. You know what, Sean? I've been doing a lot of thinking about all this travel and whatnot, and don't get me wrong, man. The big shoots, the regionals and stuff are awesome, but I really think I want to try and hit some more state shoots next year. Yeah. I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I don't know. I love the intimacy of a smaller state shoot compared to like a regional that has, 900,000 people, whatever, especially U.S. Opens and stuff. And don't misunderstand me. You and I have been big advocates for people getting out and trying those shoots, but man, there's just something about a state shoot that holds that intimacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and usually if you're like talking about like an adjoining state, like here in Ohio, it'd be Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, that kind of thing. You're not talking usually anywhere near the cost of flying, 5 or 6 states away to like a Florida or a Texas or something like that. So, you might be able to camp if you're a camper, might be able to find a fairly inexpensive hotel for just a couple of days. And the fact that you can drive instead of fly, I think also saves a lot of cost there.
Well, we just had the Northeast Regional at the Cardinal Center. Of course, Jake had to wait until I moved out of Ohio to have that. I'm just kidding. It's not his fault. Trust me. He'd love to have one all the time, every year if he could. But so I had to fly back up to Ohio. And you're right, that expense, flight, rental car. Luckily I had family I could stay with, but normally it's a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever.
Right.
So, but yeah, an adjoining state. So for me, of course, Georgia, Alabama is going to be close. Might even dip up into the Carolinas a little bit. And for you, Sean, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, on and on and on, all around Ohio. I think I want to do that a little bit more next year and try to maybe back off of some of the big travel. So, I don't know. Just a thought, I haven't.
Well, budget-wise, you might be able to do 2 or 3 state shoots for the cost of like one Jack Links or a national.
Yeah.
Just food for thought.
You're 100% correct, for sure. Of course, I'm not going to miss nationals just because everybody's there. And
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though. I'm just saying the expense of it.
No, I totally agree. And that's something else, too, that's really, man, I don't know how. I don't want to just sit here and complain, and that's not what my point is, but, even the golf carts are gotten so expensive at these big shoots. I mean,
oh yeah.
You're looking at $900 for a golf cart for the week. And if you think about that, that's more than a rental car, more than the flight, more than the hotel sometimes, So,
yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are starting to look into alternate ways of getting a golf cart, because there are, rental companies, construction companies, that kind of thing that can rent you like an all-terrain side by side or something like that. They might not be as nice as your Polaris, Rangers and the bigger Can-Ams and stuff like that. But hey, if it lugs your butt around and you could save about half the price, I've heard of people going that route, and they're able to save a little bit of money that way.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point. Of course, one of those things, when everybody catches on to it, then next thing you know, the rental companies are going to start jacking their prices. But
well, you better take advantage while you can then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but look at the alternative. I mean, for me to hook up to my trailer and drag my buggy across 5 states to get somewhere, it's, you're back up to the cost. So they've got it figured out. I just wish there was a way we could get that cost down a little bit. And it's not the clubs that are doing it, people. I need everybody to be very understanding of that. It's the golf cart rental companies that are doing it. But then again, understand their cost, I mean, to bring in 200 or 300 golf carts is no small task, right? So,
not at all.
But it's just, I wish we could figure something out. But anyway, moving on to our show, Sean Alley.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of cost savings.
Yes.
I think this ties right into that conversation.
It does. Now, listen, we're a Sporting Clays podcast. We promote Sporting Clays. We love Sporting Clays, and we're all about getting new people into shooting. That being said, this is a way that I think people can enjoy shooting without, at home, without the expense of, trust me, we love our Atlas traps. Sean Alley, you know that. I mean, hell, I sell the things. But if you're looking for an economical way to introduce somebody into shooting, or maybe just a fun shotgun game, I think this is going to fit the bill. But let's not talk too much about it. Let's get the man that knows, Mr. Jared, on the phone here, Sean, and we'll ask him the questions.
Absolutely.
Hey, everyone. Each and every week you hear Sean and I brag about our sponsors. And it's not because they sponsor the show. It's because of their products and the unmatched customer support behind each and every single one of those products. We hope you're taking the time to investigate for yourself, try the products out, and see why we love them so much. Hey, Toby Tomplay, you want to remind everyone who we're talking about?
I'd love to, Jason. Kolar Arms, America's competition shotgun. Fiocchi USA. Here at the Dead Pair, we're fueled by Fiocchi. Ranger Performance Eyewear. See it further, see it faster, see it clearer with Ranger. Atlas Traps, America's finest clay target equipment. Rhino Chokes. For deadly patterns and knockdown power, choose Rhino. Long Range, the industry standard for trap release and target management systems. Taconic Distillery. After the tournament is over, it's time for one more shot with Taconic Distillery. Score Chaser, your shoots simplified. Clay Range Design Works, your one-stop shop for all your clay target needs. And now, back to the show.
All right. Mr. Jared Grove, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Jared, it's awesome to have you on here. We're going to talk about a really neat product. Before we get going on that, can you give our listeners a little bit of background, like who you are, where you're from, and maybe a little bit of background about your experience like in the clay shooting industry?
Yeah. So I'm from Missouri, born and raised, and I currently live in Columbia, Missouri. That's where Caldwell and American Outdoor Brands is based out of. I started shooting competitively growing up as a kid. It's something that my father and parents supported. Everything from rim fire to ATA trap, shot a lot of registered trap. Stayed close to home and went to the University of Missouri and found the shooting team there. So shot on the collegiate Sporting Clays or collegiate shooting team for all 5 years of college. Could have stretched that into 6 years. I was more focused on the shooting than the scholastics part of it, but that was an amazing opportunity, and it's kind of led me to where I'm at today. But during that time, I also worked for Bass Pro Shops as a retail associate. Your guy in the green shirt at the gun counter, that was me. And then went to work for Midway USA, which is also based out of here in Columbia, as a buyer. Moved around there, bought a lot of stuff, different lines there, and then came to American Outdoor Brands about 7 years ago as on the marketing team. So I'm now currently a senior marketing manager, and I oversee Caldwell as one of my brands and my main brand. And that brings us to where we're at now, meeting you guys with cool new products.
Well, the product that we're specifically talking about is the Claycopter. Now, this thing's a lot of fun. I actually got a chance to see it for the first time at the national championship last year in San Antonio. And I watched him demonstrate it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. Can you talk about how this was developed? I mean, how did they come about with this product? What was the thought process behind it?
Yeah, so we have a pretty cool process here where anybody in the organization, there's a lot of us here. We have 20 brands, and a lot of them, even if you're working on the hunting brands or even the fishing brands, they like to shoot and stuff. And so we kind of the concept was kicked around for getting Caldwell into the shotgun shooting sports. I kind of was looking at it and I said, we do so good with our shooting rests for rifle shooters and targets and stuff that support rifle and pistol. I was like, but we ignored this whole segment of shotgun owners. And so I kind of started with my first product idea was the Claymore, which is a foot operated magazine fed that throws regular clays. It just doesn't use a battery. So trying to improve on some traditional designs. And that kind of led to a few other ones. And with those successes, we were looking at, okay, well, what still pain points are there? What's been done? I mean, this spinning prop target design's not new. There's been a lot of attempts at it over the years. When I was younger and shooting a lot, the first hot thing I remember seeing like that would have been like Helix or ZZ Bird, which is really cool and it's really fun. There's very few places to do it, and it costs a lot of money to shoot. So that's why I was like, well, that's why it's not successful. There's been some other attempts at it, and it all comes down to a price point, trying to get something that is within the realm of being at a consumer product. So we looked at a lot of designs and ideas and kicked it around, and we looked at it. I was like, to be successful, where other ones have failed is price and then availability of targets. It's a consumable target. The consumer's used to being able to go to any retail store, whether it's a farm and home type store in the rural areas, a Walmart or whatever, and buy targets. And if we couldn't do that, I kind of laid it out from the beginning, guys. I was like, that's going to be a barrier to entry. It's like if we can't get support of the consumables.
Yeah. And just so, this is an audio podcast, and we hope people go out and look at your site and see the product for themselves, or better yet, buy one. But just so everybody understands, this is about as close as you can get to a handheld ZZ Bird launcher. I mean, this thing is so cool, but
Yep.
It's a handheld device, you can throw a single or a pair of targets. And I want to be really clear on this. This does not replace a commercial trap machine. And it's probably not the best for, training for sporting clays, because it's a variable target as opposed to like sporting clays. Sure, you get different targets per station, but it's the same target over and over again. And this is completely variable. But however, if you have limited space, and especially if you're shooting on a budget, what a great way to get out and have some fun with your shotgun. Let me ask that. Was that the intent behind it? Because you're not trying to replace a clay target thrower, correct?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no. Not trying to replace. And, when we looked at it, and you'll see the type of stuff that you're talking at, like future ambitions, yes. But at the current product that we have on the market and where we saw our biggest chance for success would be with your average shotgun owner that shoots a lot at, like on their own property or BLM land or wherever, with a group of family and friends. And it's something meant to be ultra portable that flew a little different. I mean, especially even for experienced shooters like ourselves and probably everybody listening, shooting a clay targets are fun, but to throw something different in the game, they respond to wind a little differently, and it's just a little more of it's just a different flavor. The M&Ms are all the same flavor, and you throw a different color in there.
Right, exactly.
Kind of that idea.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, so I had the experience, I took mine to the Northeast Regional. I had some fellow shooters play around with a little bit. And then also to boot, just over this past July 4th weekend, I had about 40 or 50 people out to the house for a family, 4th of July cookout. And we went back in the field, and guess what I brought up? Like, hey, let's go play with this for a minute. And you know what? Everybody that shot it had a good time with it. Anybody could run it, from a little kid all the way up to grandma. And it's so neat. It comes in a neat little zip up case. Think of like a cordless drill system. It had a couple batteries. You got the thrower. And then you guys make right now like 2 sizes of targets. Is that correct?
Currently, we have a 90 millimeter and a 110 millimeter. So your standard clay diameter and a midi.
Right.
But they do fly on face away from you. So the presentation's a little bit different, but you have about the same target size.
Yes.
They fly at a similar speed, but there's a different acceleration kind of pattern to them. So they're all around like 45, 50 mile an hour, even a standard clay, but a clay is losing speed instantly. And these are accelerating for the first bit of distance because of at full speed. This is at full speed, mind you. At 15,000 RPMs, they come off and then they grab air and kind of accelerate away.
Yeah.
So it's a little different sensation, a little different shooting experience. I mean, but what I also like about that, you kind of mentioned you were shooting with your family and stuff. I've demoed these a lot. It has an adjustable speed, so you can turn it way down if you have an inexperienced shooter. We had the pleasure of taking out our investors here. We're a publicly traded company, so we always try to keep our investors in the loop on stuff that's in the pipeline and why we are a good investment. And we took them out, and they're not shooters per se. And we turned it down, and those 110s on low speed are just big floating, pie plates. And they were smashing them with the shotguns. And dude, they were having such a great time. It was awesome to see people that didn't understand the joy of shooting clays or something like that. And they would just get frustrated shooting. Because, they had went and shot the claymore and stuff in the past. And that was a little harder to hit. We could turn that down to where they were just really, and then they had just as much fun launching them. I think throwing them becomes just as much fun with you versus the shooter you can move it and point it in any direction because it's not just the same path. It becomes a pretty good fun game sometimes too.
Yeah, we're huge on, big advocates of taking people out shooting and introducing them to sporting clays and getting them started. But the neat thing about this is if you don't have a lot of land, or if you're under a budget, let's face it, some of these commercial traps can get pretty expensive. For less than $250, you're off and running with extra battery and, some targets. You can go out and have fun with your shotgun. Speaking of that, the targets, they are 100% biodegradable, correct?
They are. That's a great question. With a new product comes the challenges, and this is part of the probably the biggest question I get is the targets. Yes, they are biodegradable. They're green leaf certified. We had them certified by an independent lab. They're not plastic. Oh, that's the misconception. A lot of people see them and they assume it's plastic because it kind of looks like plastic. But what it is at its root is a plant starch that we add mineral dust to the mineral dust to give it weight so it carries momentum. But then there's a few additives in there for your temp stabilizer and your color. But it's all organic. And to be biodegradable, that means that microorganisms have to break them down. So they are biodegradable, and they will actually break down faster than a traditional clay. They're completely non-toxic, so they're not going to kill any plants, wildlife, fish in the water if it goes into the water. They simply break down into their natural form of some mineral dust that's not harmful and plant starches. So pretty cool idea. It breaks, regular clays take a long time to break down. They're not toxic, but, limestone isn't the best. It's a rock. Rock dust is going to stick around for a while.
Right.
So we do see some people that are concerned about plastics, as we should be, but these are not plastic. They are biodegradable material.
Well, Jared, I tell you what, like I said, we're big proponents about getting people out to shoot. And I can't think of an easier way for somebody to maybe try to get a fellow family member or a friend into the game of, breaking clay targets. These aren't clay, but breaking targets, flying targets with a shotgun than this. This is a super cool product, and it's why we wanted to have you on the show, because it really is in line with our belief of, hey, Let's get more people involved in the shooting sports. Let's get more people with a gun in their hand and watch that smile happen when they break their first target. It's a sport that sells itself.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it also gives them the opportunity to run the thrower themselves, as you said. Like, they're there, they want to be engaged in it and have fun. It's opens it up to a whole different age group than the whole spring-loaded,
Oh, yeah.
cheaper throwers that most people could afford. Like, it's way more accessible in those senses.
I remember my poor son being about 9 or 10 years old and trying to have him cock a hand trap that's a spring trap. I mean, it was about everything he could do to do it. So he didn't volunteer for that very often.
And pray that it stuck when you let go.
Yeah, it didn't take your finger off or something.
Yeah. Is there any, I mean, I know you got the 90 millimeter and the 110. Is there any plans for different sizes or any kind of variations of targets?
Yeah, I will say that we have, I can't give too many details, but I will tell you everything that I can at this point. On the target size side, we're playing around with some different design and some different colors. And one of them or two of them I am super, super excited about. They're probably not as obvious as just a color change, but we'll show that at in January at SHOT Show. Let me see. I think there's three new targets.
Oh, wow.
That we'll have.
Very cool.
That we've already slated into the lineup. And we'll continue to build out stuff as we can, as we come up with that innovation and test it out. Like I say, it was a pretty rapid development process in the first one. And we have a lot of stuff that we're still building and working on from the original target designs and stuff that are coming in now.
Yeah. Well, I want to move on to something else too. So American Outdoors is the parent company of Caldwell. What can you go through some of the products that Caldwell makes and then talk a little bit more about American Outdoors as well?
Yeah. So Caldwell is best known for the lead sled shooting rest. And I mean, for years, everybody knew what lead sled was. I mean, it's still sort of to this day, they recognize lead sled more recognizable than the brand Caldwell. We're working on that and getting it expanded out. But so we make mostly shooting rest targets like AR-500 steel targets, some hearing protection, electronic hearing protection, and products like that. We've expanded out into this new new for us shotgun market with our Claymore and Claycopter lines. The Claymore being our traditional clay target throwers. We have 3 of those, and we have our new Claycopter line, which is going to be focused around the spinning disc targets. And then, as a company, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. There's over 20 brands. I can't give you an exact number.
Wow.
But the big ones that we have, and we cover a lot, and we split it into 4 lanes to make it easy. We have Marksman, which is all about the shooting. So that would be Caldwell, Frankfurt Arsenal Reloading, Wheeler, which is your gunsmithing tools, and Tipton, which is your gun cleaning. We have a Defender, which is more self-defense based, and that's like Crimson Trace lasers and stuff, and Lockdown and Laser Light. And then another big brand would be in our Harvester, which is our hunting line, which would be Bog, which is the death grip tripods and all your hunting shooting rests. We have fishing brand called Bubba. Bubba makes a lot of fillet knives and fishing pliers and all that stuff. And then we even have a company, Grilla, that makes grills. And Meat, which is a brand that we started that's kind of a direct-to-consumer game processing brand. So, I don't know. There's other ones. And some knife brands. We do the Smith & Wesson cutlery and Schrade. I forget. There's a bunch of knife brands, but there's a lot of stuff in the AOB, American Outdoor Brands portfolio. A lot of brands.
Well, it definitely sounds like you guys have got all the bases covered, at least from a generic standpoint. I mean, reloading, defense, hunting, fishing. I mean, yeah, you're kind of touching all the corners there. I mean, yeah, we're specifically into the clay shooting sports, but a lot of our listeners do a lot of that stuff. So it's great that we can introduce you to them.
Yeah, we consider ourselves an outdoor recreational company. So if it's outdoor rec, we're kind of type of stuff, man. We're in it.
Gotcha. Other than the Claycopter and the Claymore, is there any other shotgun stuff that you think is going to be coming out soon, or can you talk about that?
Well, I can give you this. Well, we did show. I can tell you one that's really exciting. We showed it at SHOT Show, so we'll talk about it. On the Claymore side, it's coming out. I'm delaying its launch until the spring because it was going to be at the very end of the year. So we'll be pushing inventory out to our retailers in the spring, but it's called the Claymore Connect. And so what it is a traditional electric target thrower, your consumer grade. This isn't a commercial grade one. But instead of using the old 12-volt heavy car battery, it uses the same battery pack that goes in the Claymore or the Claycopter. So that little yellow magazine pack goes in it, and it'll launch 750 launches off of a single charge. So you're not carrying a big thing. The other cool thing, and the reason that it's called a Connect, is it has Bluetooth to where you can connect it to an app. And inside of that app, you can do voice launch. You can set like a following pair on a single machine. You can set delays. You can do all that. You can also pair up to, we say 10 machines. It's actually more based off of what age your smart device is, your phone. You can pair all these throwers together and then go in there and do presets and have like a preset, pairs and all that. You can do flurries. You can do random flurries and all that. So it really just elevating that, electric thrower and bringing that and putting some innovation into it with the better battery packs. We're not buying these car batteries or dragging them out to the field. And it's just going to use that little lithium ion battery pack. And then that's coming out on the Claycopter side for SHOT Show. We will have some new launchers at different price points with different features.
Interesting.
So Claycopter's right in the middle right now. And that's about all I can say about that. But they're still going to be targeted as a consumer grade, but just a different level of consumer is kind of what we're targeting there. That's the plan. Because like I say, we've seen such huge success with the original Claycopter that we see a path to adding features and also making maybe a different, more stripped down version of the Claycopter to hit more of a price point for people that maybe don't need everything that a Claycopter does. So we'll have those out this year. I'm playing with prototypes and initial samples and stuff right now, and they're both I'm very excited about. I set pretty high expectations, as I think everybody had high expectations after how the Claycopter came out. And these are meeting or exceeding those expectations.
Very, very cool. Well, we will definitely for sure put a link to the Claycopter down in this podcast description, and I hope people go and check it out because it is a lot of fun. Like I said, it's not meant to, and you said yourself too, Jared, that it's not meant to replace, a commercial trap machine and, training for sporting clays, but man, it sure is a great way to get people out shooting, and we're all about that. So, and it's an economical way too. Definitely looking forward to some of these products. I mean, man, be willing to call us and let us know when this stuff comes out. We'd love to take a look at it and talk about it with you.
Yeah. I'll definitely get you guys hooked up on the new stuff. I love coming out and getting out to the end users, man, this is what it's all about. The best part of the job is showing off my shiny new toys to everybody. Yeah, you're right. Like we definitely aren't trying to go after a commercial grade thing yet, and I think some people, that was a failure point on some of the other ones. It's like they went too high out of the gate. Like we need to start and build it up and be realistic about it. And I think I'm very happy with the success that we've started. I have a lot of people, much like yourselves, where you're professional shooters, and it's great, and we shoot sporting clays and all that, and it's like, dude, that's cool. I'll keep it around for my house. Or gun clubs, just taking them out and shooting them for fun, just off the side. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to go shoot a round of Claycopters, but you're like, hey, these things will go 100 yards. You can send them pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, you can make some challenging shots. I mean, you can challenge some good shooters with them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about professional shooters, but we sure act like it sometimes, or try to act like it.
We just try to hit the orange things in the air. That's our whole goal.
Yeah.
So, Jared, is the Claycopter only available through your website, or do you having other like dealers and vendors carry them now?
No. So I'm glad you asked. We launched with the initial 5 retailers, and they're big ones. We got the big Walmart, Bass Pro Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, Academy, and Shields. So pretty much U.S. wide there. You can find one of them stores. And we just launched another online retailer with Midway USA. We brought them on. You will be seeing more and more of them at smaller local dealers and stuff within the year. We're being very strategic on getting them out, because we don't want to overload or overpromise and get people out there where they have the throwers and no targets. That would be a very big dissatisfier. I'd be super bummed if I bought a launcher and didn't have targets. It's like a car with no gas. What use is it? So we very much want to make sure that the consumers were going to be able to be serviced by consumer demand for targets. And we've done great with that. And we're opening up that distribution as we speak now.
Good deal.
Well, Jared, we appreciate it very much, man. This has been cool. And I hope some people get out and take a look at this thing, because, like I said, it is just, it's more fun than a barrel of monkeys. I'm telling you. I mean, this, if you like shooting your shotgun, this is something totally different. And the easiest thing I can compare it to would be a handheld ZZ Bird or Halise machine launcher. I mean, this thing is super cool. And challenging too. Like if you crank that thing up, you better be on your game. So
yeah, they're going to go far. The other cool thing I will say, if you are a bad shot and you miss them, you can go pick them up and launch them again.
Yeah.
They come to the ground very gently, and they're pretty resilient. They don't break when you drop them like clays. But yeah, I get that question a lot is how much do they cost? And I kind of like, well, they're a little bit more than a regular clay, not horrible. I was like, but if you're a bad shot, they really don't cost you much to shoot.
Yeah.
And for all our listeners out there, I think you guys have several videos on YouTube, right, that they can go check out, actually see the machine throwing and people shooting at them. It's really neat. I suggest all of our listeners, if you're interested at all, get on YouTube, take a look at it and see what it's all about. I mean, again, I think just at the price point it's such a cool thing to have in your arsenal. And again, throw it in the garage, charge the batteries, have some friends over, at a cookout or something. And man, you can be out there shooting in a field within minutes. I mean, it's just so easy to use.
Yeah. That's a very good summary of it.
Well, Jared, we really appreciate the time. And again, this is a very cool product. We wish you and the company much, much success with this. I think it's going to do very well for you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'll just say this is hopefully episode 1 of a couple more to follow in our discussion of Claycopters.
Very cool. We're looking forward to that.
And the story that we have there.
Cool beans. All right. Well, Jared, we'll let you go. We know you're busy, and we appreciate you again coming on.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
The Dead Pair.
Well, Jason, again, I think that from the understanding that, hey, this is not a professional device, right? I mean, this is not of the same caliber as an Atlas trap or any of the commercial traps. What it is and why I think it's important is it ties into our mission statement of trying to get more people into shooting. And this might be a very easy way for somebody that might not have the time or the extra energy to get somebody out to a club. It's like, hey, get one of these little bad boys, put it in your garage, and then the next time, bring it out for a family reunion or a cookout or whatever, and go smack some of these birds, man. It's a fun thing.
I'm going to call it the gateway drug into sporting clays.
Yes, it's the gateway drug. I love it.
But no, I mean, and I tried to make that point clear when we had Jared on the phone. You're not going to go practice or train for sporting clays with this device. Okay.
No,
it's a variable target, right? But that's what makes it fun. It really does truly remind me of a ZZ or Halise bird, if you will.
Yes.
I mean, because it's got that variable to it. I think it's, like you said, it's a fun way to get family and friends involved in shooting. And then hopefully this is the gateway drug that leads you into taking them to the course.
That's
and
right.
Introducing them to sporting clays. That's ultimately what we would love to see happen. But if not, maybe they shoot the shotgun and they don't like it, which, I mean, they must have fell and hit their head if they don't, right? But anyway, but no, my point is it's a very fun shotgun game is what this is. The Caldwell Claycopter is just that. It's a very fun shotgun game. And I think for the price point, I mean, for just a little bit more than a flat of shells, or if you live in California, less than half the price of a flat of shells. Sorry guys. But it's, it's so much fun. It really is. And that variable target like that. Now listen, if you're a dove hunter, this might be the ultimate training tool.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? But man, I'm telling you what, so when I got mine, I drug my daughter outside. I was like, you got to check this out, man. This thing's really cool. And she's looking at me and she's like, what is this thing? And she's only 13 years old. And I sent one off, and in my subdivision, they're all like 2 and 5 acre lots. I went over the house behind me, which is like 300 yards behind me. This thing took off, dude. I mean, like gone. Yep. And she looked at me and she goes, we better get in a house. I mean,
well, my two nephews, Wyatt and Charlie, they were fighting over launching them for us. And, they're like 9 and 12. So it's really easy for them to operate. I mean, again, if you can run a cordless screw gun, you can run one of these things. Definitely a neat little tool. And again, I think there was a lot of smiles to be had. And I think there's some value in that, especially for the price point. And that's all we're trying to get across to everybody. It's don't come, looking us up saying, oh yeah, you're never going to trade for sporting clays. That's not our point. That's not the point
not
at
with
all.
This. No, but you hit the nail on the head, and so did Jared. It's just as much fun throwing these things as it is shooting them. I do hope everybody checks it out because it is so much fun. It's something different. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we get caught up in our little sporting clay world of training and practice and tournaments. And this is just something that's, you can still go out with your shotgun and have a lot of fun. And it's a totally different game. So,
well, and what I really liked is that, I had no idea, and we had no idea that, Jared mentioned they're developing some new targets for this. So this is not just like said and done. They're going to continue to develop some neat things to go onto this. So like once you buy it, they're going to come out with some different targets. Maybe they'll have some, I mean, God only knows, maybe they'll have some glow in the dark targets or something. Maybe they'll have some different colors or presentations or something that you might be able to do. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, these guys are in the R&D phases for all this stuff, but it's just nice to know that they're still thinking about it. And it's not like a one and done type of thing. They're going to keep adding to it, maybe adding some accessories and some features to it. And I think that's very cool.
Yeah. And I think this little guy here definitely ties in with our message, Sean Alley. What is our message to everybody every week?
Well, if you haven't picked it up yet, we are big advocates of getting people out there, putting a gun in their hand and watching the magic happen of breaking a flying target in the air with a shotgun. And again, this is a perfect way to do it. Taking him to your club is a perfect way to do it. Taking someone to a charity shoot or a corporate shoot is another great way to do it. But simply getting outside in the field with a shotgun and being able to shoot at some targets and watch people as they smile when they break their first one. I mean, that's just, to me, it's priceless.
Yeah. And, that's another thing too. And I brought it up on the last episode, but if you're going to a charity shoot or if you're going to a corporate event, what a great opportunity to try to get that person to go to a regular sporting clay tournament with you one time.
Right.
I mean, I've been to so many charity and corporate events, and the opportunity, they're already there having fun. Okay. And a lot of them are new to this, right? I mean, those of you that are tournament shooters, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people at these charity and corporate events are new to the game. If they like it and they're having so much fun, why not take advantage of that and get them to come to a tournament with you one time? So, hey, look, you don't even have to compete. Just follow me around, check this out, see if it's something you want to do. Or maybe take them practicing with you, or whatever. But I think there's a big opportunity that's missed there a lot of times that we don't even realize. Yeah. So maybe that's something new. Hey, speaking of something new, we still have lots of tickets available for the Dead Pair Kolar giveaway. Man, get in on this. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're at an event and Kolar's there, they've got physical tickets. Sean and I both have physical tickets, or you can go to our website, click on the Kolar drawing, and take you right to the link where they can buy some tickets. But get in on this. We're probably going to do the drawing live. We'll be doing it. I don't know how we're going to do that with Kids in Clay, Sean, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. We'll be doing the drawing live in December. And it is a random computer draw, isn't it, Sean?
Well, what we're going to wind up doing is printing off all the ballots, and then we're going to try to do a physical drawing, like out of a fishbowl or something like that, so it can be seen. That's why it'd be really nice to be able to do this on YouTube, like one of our Scoops episodes. We could do that live and have somebody anonymously draw the name out of there, and we know it's all fair and everybody's got an equal opportunity. So yes, as Jason said, get those tickets purchased. Drawing's going to be held sometime in December. And we'll definitely give somebody a big smile when they win that gun.
Yes. And also, don't forget about our discount through both Taconic and RE Ranger. 10% off at checkout. Use the code DEADPAIR10, which, by the way, I just had somebody email me the other day, and the link, for some reason or another, not the link, but the discount code was broken at RE Ranger. Contacted them within 5 minutes. They had it fixed. So it's up and working again. Again, the code is DEADPAIR10 at checkout, no spaces. But save 10% off your order, both Taconic Distillery and RE Ranger. Sean Alley, this has been a fun episode because it's something different. It's not just the same old clay targets in and out like we always talk about. So it was kind of neat to talk about something different.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was a fun episode, and I'm looking forward to see what they come out with next. I think that'll be really cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, without much said, I'm going to go ahead and do it to you, Jason.
Let's do it.
All right. Jason Rambo, wrap it up.
Oh, you want me to do it?
You do it. Come on.
I got to carry the torch this time.
You get to carry the torch, man. Light it up.
I don't know, man. I got broad shoulders, but they ain't as broad as yours. All right, I'll give it a try.
Give it a shot.
We can't wait to see y'all back here on the Dead Pair Podcast.
We'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.
The Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, the mark of performance, and is fueled by Fiocchi USA. The Dead Pair theme song was written, arranged, and produced by Toby Tomplay. Special thanks to the following sponsors: Atlas Traps, Ranger Performance Eyewear, Rhino Chokes, Long Range LLC, Taconic Distillery, Score Chaser, and Clay Range Design Works.